Welcome to our monthly foreclosure update. In this video, we'll be discussing the latest developments in the foreclosure market. From the number of properties currently in foreclosure to the number of foreclosures expected to hit the market in the coming months, we'll provide you with the most up-to-date information. Whether you're a potential homebuyer, investor, or just curious about the market, this video will give you a better understanding of the current foreclosure landscape. Here at the exclusive Lifestyle Group, our goal is to keep you informed and updated every step of the way as we navigate this crazy real estate market. As one of the leading real estate teams in Atlanta, it is our desire to always be available as your trusted advisor for everything real estate related. So stay tuned and let's dive into the data together. Malik, I'm turning it over to you.
All right, thanks, Jay. And what's up, everybody? Welcome to your latest update on the foreclosure market for January 2023. In some of our other videos, we've been talking about the latest with interest rates, housing prices, and the national real estate market regarding recession fears, and some people even panicking as we begin 2023. In this video, I want to kind of shift the conversation to a couple of things that I think are important right now as we have that conversation. And that conversation is what's going on with the foreclosures. Everybody's watching the news and seeing all these headlines about the market and asking if it's going to crash, our price is going to fall. They waiting to buy a home because they feel like they heard somewhere that there's going to be millions of foreclosures hit the market again like it did back in the crash of 2008, 2009. They think it's going to go back to that again. So let's go in and let's talk about the facts. So what about foreclosures? Let's kind of start here. And I'll maybe position this question with this chart right here. This is foreclosure activity by year, and it goes all the way back to 2005. And something very interesting right here. If you look at this chart, ever since 2010, foreclosures have actually been going down in this country. And there's a reason for that. Coming out of the financial crisis of 2008, lending standards got a lot stricter. We talk extensively about that on our monthly market report. And as you have a better qualified borrower, stricter standards, you have less defaults, less foreclosures. You know, the bars in red here show that when distressed properties or foreclosures in this country were over 1 million homes a year. And every year since then, we've seen less and less foreclosures. And even if you take 2020 and 2021, just take those years off the map because, you know, those were anomaly years with the COVID and all that. We've seen that happen. So the question really becomes, are we about to see a bunch of foreclosures coming on the market? And what's the update? What's the latest on that? And I'll tell you, one of the leading indicators of that is to look at delinquencies. The way it works is when people fall behind on paying a mortgage, they first fall into a delinquency status before they can become a foreclosure. And delinquencies are actually down right now. But if you look at foreclosures, Adam data says this. Only about 214,000 homeowners were facing possible foreclosure in the second quarter of 2022, or just 0.4% of the 58.2 million outstanding foreclosures in the U.S. Not 1%, 0.4%. And if you think about that number, if you were to sit down with a servicer or somebody in the mortgage business that's in the side that looks at foreclosures in this portfolio of mortgages, they would usually tell you that they're okay with about a 1% default rate in a mortgage portfolio. Well, where are we? We're less than half of what they're even, okay with in a scenario, a normalized scenario. foreclosures basically are very, very low. So if you continue reading this, of those people that are facing foreclosures, only about 195,000 or 91% had at least some equity built up in their homes. Now, yes, people do get foreclosed on that have equity in their homes, but the bottom line is people have options because so many people have equity in their homes. If 91% of the people have equity in their homes, the bottom line is if they were to fall behind on the mortgage, hell, they can just sell, cash out, and don't let the house hit foreclosure. Back in 2008, 2009, a lot of people were falling behind on the mortgage and home values were falling like crazy, but they couldn't sell because they didn't have any equity. They couldn't cash out. They were upside down. Underwater is what they called it. And that's where all the short sales came in. So they couldn't cash out, so they had no choice but to go into foreclosure. But if we continue this, even updated here in the third quarter, Rick Sharga said this: anyone waiting for a huge foreclosure wave will probably be disappointed by this report from Adam Data. Foreclosure activity was flat from quarter one to quarter two, and foreclosure starts dropped slightly from August to September. So this is a quote from Rick. We follow Rick and certainly trust Adam Data and everything they're doing. And yet the report that then came out from Adam Data had this in the headline. It said, U.S. foreclosure activity continues to increase quarterly, nearing pre-pandemic levels. So more than the pandemic, factually correct, but maybe misleading for somebody that reads this and doesn't dig deeper like all of us do. This market is a critical market to go beyond. You got to look beyond the headline into really what are they trying to say? Because oftentimes they're very, very different than maybe what we're led to believe. But the bottom line is this: there's not this pent-up demand of foreclosures coming. There's not a huge wave of foreclosures coming. And people wonder, well, are we about to see a wave of just more houses come on the market? Okay. Well, this is a look a couple of months ago, back at the end of October. And where was the housing supply at? You know, if we look at the same week in 2021, we were up almost 40%, 39.5% up over 2020 compared to 2020 when we were slightly 6.3%. But compared to the same week in 2019 when we were down just over 37%. So 2019, we often say 2017, 18, 19, the normal years in the market before COVID and everything that we know that brought us the anomaly of real estate in this country. So not only are we not seeing this wave of foreclosures come, we're not seeing a wave of inventory hit the market. Certainly this year will be more than last year, certainly more than the year before. But if you look at prior to COVID, we are still down across the country when it comes to available inventory. So with delinquencies down, still down less than 1%, inventory still down. If you want to know what's happening with all the foreclosures, it's simple. They don't exist. And with that said, be sure to like and subscribe if you found value in this video. Until next time, I'm out.